See? Alright. Hell yeah. Look at these pants. Look at these pants. They're great. They're 10 out of 10 pants. Alright. Let's get back to business to defeat the Chun. Alright. So I've already pulled it out of the oven here, and we can get a good view at it here in a second once I get everything plugged back in. Let me get all this back together here. So, like I said, the browning didn't happen as much as the video does. You can see around the edges here that are looking pretty good, but as you get closer to the center, it doesn't look as good. Still looks pretty pale, but checking the temperatures on the inside, we've hit the temperatures. We've overhit the temperatures, more than I would normally even cook it. So, we're good on that. So, that said, it's time to try this out. Pac-Man's, hell yeah. Yo, what's up, Otter Sykes? How you doing? How's it going? Happy Sunday to you. And heck yeah, I do got great pants. Not at all biased. Alright, I guess just... we'll shovel the most done one. Actually, I guess first I need to take a picture of it, don't I? Because we're at that point of the stream, unfortunately. Okay, there we go. Hold on a sec here. God, it still looks really weird. There we go. All right. Hello? Camera. Okay, come back. There we go. Like, hello, come back. That'd be great. All right. This has been an adventure today. We've done a lot of stuff. We've played video games. We talked about vinyls. We talked about board games. But ultimately, this is all for the Chussy. So, let me go ahead and pull this out. I'm not pulling out any potatoes quite yet. Because, I'm a coward. Yeah, the potatoes just seem awful. Not gonna lie. The potatoes just seem real awful. They just seem kind of like soaked. Alright, let's get a knife. And alright. I will get you all closer because once again, I'm not going to be the only one experiencing this. Oh, first and foremost there. Here we are. There we go. I don't think it's going to leak out. Oh, that sounds awful. It's not going to leak out like in the video, but because I just didn't have as big of peppers, but it is what it is. You can see a little bit of the cheese in there, though. Like, you can see a little bit of the cheese in there and everything like that. The bacon just didn't cook. Like, that's a net zero. That bacon just did not cook. But probably from what you can kind of see there, it's cooked. It's cooked on the inside. Everything else is cooked chicken-wise, which is the important part. But not nearly enough cream cheese in there to really ooze out as you would see in the video. Not surprising, considering the amount I really put into there. So, and actually, let's start off with these potatoes. There's one at the bottom, served properly. God. That's sure a starchy potato. That sure is a very starchy, kind of slightly wet potato with the slightest tint of like bacon, bacon juice. You could actually do an exclamation point recipe, unless you want the written down recipe, in which case I can send that to you. That's not a problem. Alright, well, the potatoes need, I was going to say salt, but it needs anything. It needs help. The potatoes need help. Alright, let's get into the meat of things here. Gonna grab the main part of the Chussy, the unseasoned midpoints of the Chussy. I'm gonna cut that in half so I get the bacon and some jalapeno. I'm gonna make sure I get a bite of everything in here. All right, here it is. Oh. Yeah, sure could use more of like anything. The best part about it is the jalapeno pepper. Unsurprisingly, it's like a jalapeno popper, and the jalapeno itself is actually legitimately like, it was a good jalapeno. It has a really nice spicy bite to it. Like, I might have been limited to the last 3 jalapenos in that store, but they're actually good. The jalapeno was actually good. Actually, has a nice burn on it and everything like that. Outside of that, it sure is underspiced chicken. Mm. And what really makes it the worst is that, so we dredged on both sides of chicken, right? So both sides of chicken were dredged into the breadcrumbs. But because the bottom half of the breadcrumbs, still wet from the egg, was between the potatoes and itself, it just makes that bottom half really a mix between parts that got cooked, which makes it like soggy, and the parts that didn't get cooked, which makes it remain as breadcrumbs like it was originally. That part is awful. That part is really not good. The chicken's definitely safe, yes. The bacon is, it's probably just mostly fat is the problem, so it's not really cooked in any sort of way. So it does come off as really pale and doesn't really like do anything. The bacon doesn't even taste like bacon because of how it's cooked. Because it's basically been steamed for an hour, so I've actually like cooked for an hour. So it's definitely like okay to eat, but it's not okay to eat, if that makes sense. But otherwise, you might be able to see it. You might be able to see it here. So like there's like little like yellow chunks here and there. That's like all about like, that's where all like the breadcrumbs like just got really stuck between the steam of the 2 parts. And it's just mushy. It's just terrible mushy bread at that point. The chicken's unseasoned, so here's just chicken breast. So, and it's not healthy because you have all the breading and the cheese and stuff like that around it. The bacon's not cooked in a way that's pleasurable to eat. The jalapeno itself is good. The jalapeno by itself is really good. The potatoes are an atrocity. That shouldn't have happened. That needs some sort of seasoning anywhere across the land. Yeah, the thing is, that's a really good way to put it, BV. There's a decent recipe there. They just didn't make it. They optionally did not make that good recipe. Is the major thing. And like I said, there's about, even just going through the recipe, there's about a million things I could think of as I would make it actually a good recipe. There is still a style of chicken. I don't know what it's called. Someone said it earlier probably. The Altenga or something like that. This is a style of chicken. Breaded chicken is a thing. It's good. You just have to use some sort of seasoning throughout it. This is very like sad cooking. We put stuff together and hoped it was good. But like, the dredge is unseasoned, the chicken's unseasoned. The cream cheese is actually pretty good because they actually seasoned it, or I should say I seasoned it because they didn't give me amounts to work with, so I put in as much as I wanted to, and that turned out good because it was in my hands. The potatoes are unseasoned and are unpleasing to eat on top of everything else. Like, at least the chicken is like, I'm chewing the chicken, I'm like, okay, after I cooked it for the amount of time, the chicken's still really juicy and really nice because all the steaming from the potatoes and being kind of trapped in all this sort of stuff actually made it the context and the the mouthfeel of the chicken good, the surrounding things just drag it back down to bad. So I feel like I'm Ryu from Streets right now. This is how it's probably a water without any ice, chicken without any seasoning, and dirt. And season 5 of Chef's Club. Now the real question is how do I save this? What do I put on the outside to save this recipe? Yeah, I can take this recipe and make 2. Yeah, like you can make 2 good recipes. You can make infinity recipes out of this. There's so many different parts in here that could make it legitimately actually good. And who knows, maybe I'll make a cookie stream out of that itself. Just saying, okay, now that we've tried the curse recipe and it's real fucking awful. We've proven it. We've done it firsthand. Like what different things would I do throughout of it? And like some of the things that are coming to mind is like, okay, well what if I salt and pepper the chicken, of course, and then like maybe for the flour dredge, I throw in like some Jamaican jerk spice in there, spin that around in there, get that going. I think I'll keep the cream the same for the most part. I think that's actually pretty fine. And the jalapeno, once I can get like a legitimate sized jalapeno, that part will be even better because I'll get more of the cream inside of it. So that'll be good. And then maybe serve up some, I'll probably roast the potatoes first. Is like a big thing. Like I'm gonna go like roasted potatoes and like actually cook the top really, really well. Like broil the potatoes. That's what I'm looking for. Broil the potatoes first, so that part's like at least a crisp on the top of it, which would be super delicious. I think that would be super, super good. Getting that really crispy. Before then we put on the chicken on there. It's gonna obviously not be as good because there's still gonna be some chicken drippings down there, but that's its own thing. Probably a better cut of bacon. And I might even pre-cook the bacon at that point too. Just like get it going so that once it sits in the oven for 60 minutes, it actually like either firms up or at least goes in already crisp. So that'll have to be some playing around with. But the fact that they just didn't use like damn near any salt and pepper throughout the whole recipe except for the cream. Like even for Chef's Club, it's like what's the thought behind that? Like what's the consideration? What's the accomplishment of saying, hey, use salt and pepper, but only in this. And how much, you see how much is left over? That's all the flavor that this recipe has. And most of it's in this bowl because my jalapenos were so damn small. So when you put that all together, it's just, I mean, obviously you probably knew before starting, don't try it, but the techniques that you've used in it and all the stuff you can add to the techniques, you can make it a lot better. You can definitely enlighten the recipe and throw a lot of different things and interesting things in there to really make a good meal, honestly. All the components are there, and like BB said. But then Chef's Club got their hands on it and like, man, what if we put less effort into this? And then we got paid more money than anyone who's perfected the recipe. Well, that's just like a great idea. That's the Chef Club special. You make the chick prep and crazy. I mean, at that point, you might as well, right? Look, if you can make a delicious looking Chussy to make people actually want to put their lips on it, go lips to lips with it, I say that's a win. That's a win for everyone. Except for maybe the person who's being made fun of while they're eating it. But outside of that, it's a win for everyone. Especially for you. The person who gets to make it and be like, ha ha ha, you can't stop eating it. So you can't stop doing it. Yes, eat the Chussy, eat my Chussy. You can say things like that while they're at the cross the dinner table. Like, please stop. It's so good, but I can't handle your mocking. See, that's the ultimate win right there. But yeah. And stuff a little bit differently. That's also probably a good idea. Like actually butterfly the chicken open so you can actually have like more surface space. One, it'll cook faster because of that, and two, it does take away the fun factor of it. So I would say for this recipe specifically, actually don't butterfly it. Because it's not even a Chussy anymore, right? It loses that horrible fucking appeal that it has. It loses the horridness that it has. If you want to make great food, butterfly chicken. If you want to make mean food, do it as is. Keep the slit in there. Oh, gosh. Yes, saving my Chussy. What's up, Dr. Fat Body? No, you came at the perfect time. The very end. This was not one to stay locked into. But that is the Chussy, and I now my next step is figuring out what seasoning can I add to the outside of it now to make it edible for the next 3 to 5 days. I have no idea how I'm gonna do this. Holy shit! I look at my Twitch timer. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. My Twitch timer says I've currently been streaming for negative 2,655 seconds. So, there's also that. I don't know what this laptop's doing, but its Twitch timer is completely broken, and I love it. It's so good. If all it smells barbecue, that's probably the answer, honestly. Just smatter in all the sauce, whatever sauce, ketchup, barbecue sauce, whatever I got, and just be done with it. Don't think about it anymore. Health be damned. Let's just make sure we eat this damn chicken. Right? Yeah. Jeremy's like, well, clearly you haven't started streaming yet, so you have to make it again. Clearly, Twitch.tv doesn't show that you streamed at all, so therefore you got to do it again. Cooking the Chussy. That's how cursed it is. It creates a time paradox. Oh, it's gonna get worse when it's cold, isn't it? All right, hold on a sec. Let's put some tahini on the potatoes. God, the potatoes are just so insanely uncooked. It's a marvel almost. And that was 60 minutes in the oven. All right, that makes flavor. I'm probably gonna put tahini on the potatoes. Because that, if all else fails, tahini is there. Tabasco's there, Tabasco's there, it's pretty great. Barbecue sauce is there, but tahini on potatoes is just super good, no matter what. And shred the chicken for something else. That's also completely fair and true. I could do that. But also, I'm just kind of like, this is mine now to own. This is the donation incentive. The donation incentive was to make the Chussy and consume it. I'm just like, I've created this hubris partially by my choice. It just is what it is. Also, hello, Yuki. Thank you for catching me at my lowest low. So what's the worst part of this? If I could be very, very narrow, sectioning off the bottom half of the chicken is the worst part. It's not pleasurable to eat. It's just soggy breadcrumbs. It's awful. It's fucking terrible. Soggy breadcrumbs on the bottom. And when you have actually firm and well-made chicken on the top of it, it just feels like the combination of the two just doesn't feel right. This part's really dumb. This part is it was done before and now it's been undone. That's the thing. It's been undone. So here's this part's really done. Here's this part's undone. The more juicy you get the chicken, the worse the bottom gets. And that's the paradox. And that's the really big problem with the breadcrumbs on that. The juicier you make the chicken, the worse this other part becomes. And it's terrible to have that all combined. Followed by the potatoes afterwards, because that's just to receive the pure brunt of juices and hotness and steaminess that just makes it all awful. So that would probably be the second worst part. The bacon's a very close third still, because it just didn't cook. It's just warm bacon. Just the lips of... But despite that, it's the hilarious appeal is still there once you pull off the cheese and stuff like that. It's it's still kind of there. You still got the funny picture. So display-wise, it does a great job. It held strong to what it originally was. So that's what makes it a slight bit better. The actual appeal of it. And then that said, top breadcrumbs are really good. Or at least pretty good. They didn't brown all that much. The cheese, obviously, is good. And the jalapeno, just because I happened to pick a good one, was probably the best part. Because the cream cheese inside of it, or I should say the cream cheese jalapeno, because they're kind of intertwined. It's the best part. But that's because the cream cheese was in my hand to add as much stuff as I wanted to it. So, that said, it was more me that made the one element that was in my hands really good. Because they didn't give any amounts besides the amount of cream cheese. So, that's probably the thing. Yeah, honestly, I think some people who don't have the ridiculous iron stomach that I have would definitely go downhill the moment they took that bottom part in, 100%. Fortunately, I have a pretty ironclad stomach. Not a lot breaks that. I have weird things that break that, but I can eat things like that. It's like, well, that's a weird fucking texture. That's just not right. That just is absolutely wrong. That doesn't taste good. But I can hold it down. I have very, very weird things that break my stomach, though. Like, if I have too much red meat, like in a burger, I can make it about halfway, and then my body just starts rejecting it. Just what happens. I don't know what that is, but it just happens. But yeah, one side is juicy, the other side is just juice. And it's not good juice because it hasn't been seasoned, so it's just chicken water. And that's just, I think that's the part that makes it worse. Everything else is just chicken water. It's not seasoned with anything, it's just pure chicken water. All the water that just dripped off the chicken, now everything else shares with it. And the fact that it was undercooked in the first place for the first 30 minutes was already a pretty small nightmare. The recipe is so obscene, it reverses entropy. Exactly, there we go. All sorts of curse shit. It wouldn't even go into my stomach, my throat would go full gag. Well, fortunately for you, that's why my dumbass is doing this. You're safe. You're safe from home. I'm doing all the work here. But it's definitely like you hit that. And one hilarious last part about this is that because the cream cheese and the jalapeno are so strongly flavored by comparison, it almost gives me like an acid reflux feeling because it feels like by comparison that's so much more impactful, spicy, acidic, everything else, while everything is so base that the jalapeno hits a lot harder than it should. Like, it feels a lot worse going down than it probably should because nothing else meshes with that. Everything else is base level. So nothing else goes together with it, and it just doesn't. It's almost like a punishment for getting any sort of flavor out of this because it's the one shining beacon amidst all this. So that's like, you know, getting like some sort of like hot sauce drip while you're drinking like water. I don't know. I have nothing else to put. I have no comparisons to that because it's a unique experience. But that said, that is a Chussy, and I have a whole plate of it for the next few days because definitely not going outside to get any more food. But I mean, I had backup anyway. I bought some chicken thighs so I can actually make some Jamaican jerk chicken. I'm prepared. I was prepared for the worst already, and that was I can make other food. But once again, big shout outs to General Yeti and Femoral for putting together the $420 donation incentive to make this a reality. And I mean, a really huge hilarious ups to General Yeti for throwing so damn much to make a meme joke and willing this into existence. If there's anyone to blame, it's me. But if there's anyone else to blame, then it's General Yeti. But I'll protect General Yeti a little bit. I'll sit there and like, hey, don't attack General Yeti. And you'll go around and be like, all right, well, I tried and go for it. At that point, it's not me no more. But that's it. Thank you all for hanging out. I greatly appreciate it. Let's go bother the people who took the time to re-stream this and do commentary on their stream. So they have some time to prepare for this. They know it's coming now. On a little green couch, I think they're doing their Minecraft raid of the day. Raid? I don't know. What's the word? Minecraft. I guess Minecraft. That's the word. I don't know much about this stuff. Good stream. It was a good stream. Nonetheless, I had a lot of fun with it because I actually feel like I got to sit down and actually focus on talking with the stream chat, which is something I don't get to do a whole lot. And that actually was a lot more fun than I would have expected while trying to wait for this damn thing to cook itself. But that said, the VOD will be up. I'll make sure to save it so that this can be saved in infamy. So, like, Osize, you came in late, I'll make sure that that's available for you and whatnot. So, that's it. Thank you all for hanging out. Greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you on tomorrow. Should be tomorrow. I don't think I have anything going on tomorrow. What if I have something going on tomorrow? I don't have anything going on tomorrow. Or, if you're available tonight, I will be doing an exhibition on Plus R with another group. So keep an eye on Twitter for that one too, if you're interested. But otherwise, have a good one, have a good night, and take care of yourselves. Peace.
we were about to write something too.
Never stop Minecraft. No, this is our longer